Previously in episode 95.
Well, what I find very interesting is that when you look at the cultures in West Africa, what's very interesting is that the way people here convey their knowledge and religion and and even culture, it's all around dance and music.
That's so cool. What's up, Capoeira Nation? Welcome back to the Capoeira Experience podcast. Thank you so much for coming back for the second part of my conversation with my friend Leopardo. This conversation was awesome. This conversation was super informative because we talk about religion, we talk about the African cultures, the West African cultures, and the correlation with capoeira, how capoeira was influenced by this beautiful culture in general. Many countries came to one. It's kind of funny that it got compressed. It's like it got squeezed, and out of all the juice that came out of that squeezed, capoeira was born, and down Brazil. And I think it's a beautiful combination of many things and many stuff. And it's also a symbol of unity, because if you see back then, man, there used to be tribes, and those tribes sometimes there used to be enemy tribes, and all of them unified to create a resistance against oppression and resistance against the what was happening back then, right? And that's part of a history. That's part of, we cannot erase history, but we can improve it, right? So that's why we look back, and that's why we learn from it, and we go forward, we move forward. We're not gonna be pointing at it like those relationships where you point at it, you did this, okay, yeah, but that was 80 years ago, 100 years ago, 500 years ago. That happened. Let's move forward. Let's go look in the future, and let's see what we can improve, where we can improve. So in my conversation today, my second part of the conversation today, sorry, my nose a little bit clogged, but my conversation with my friend Leopardo was based still on the same conversation about the West African cultures, where we mentioned a little bit of the three aspects of the religion, of the West African religions. And on his studies, he pretty much saw that there's three things that are ruled for all those West African religions. The three are going to be respect, loving, and care. Respect for our ancestors, loving and respect, of course, for our surrounding, and care for each other. This is just everything is connected. Everything is part of the same, right? So that's how unity works. And also we talk about the connection of capoeira and candomblé, and the how this beautiful art is connected to many things in capoeira, in the African West Coast, and also how ignorance got in our way of many people. Back in Venezuela, I was judged of being like, why you doing capoeira? Even for my own family, man. My own family were like, why you do capoeira? Don't do capoeira. Don't do capoeira because that's bad for you. Don't do capoeira. Go to school. I did graphic design, by the way. But they were like, you have to go to school. You have to do a career. You have to go to a company that makes you a living. You have to go for this. So the normal society tried to shape people. And I remember one time Mr. Paulão talking about this too. Mr. Paulão do Ceará in Capoeira Brazil, he talks about that too, about how he used to be judged because he was giving so much to capoeira. And I got judgment from friends, family, and at work, whatever place I was working at, and be like, oh yeah, you do this thing, that's not gonna give you a living, you're not gonna get far. And I am still here sticking around. So, and same thing for other stuff, religion, the African religion. A lot of people say that's Dio, but the most funny thing, we also talk about voodoo, what voodoo is, and a little description. We don't go in depth of voodoo, but just to listen to that part is going to be uh, pretty interesting if you don't know. And just pay attention to this conversation, especially if you want to know more about ancestors and connection with the past of what was before us, especially connected with capoeira. All right, thank you so much for listening. And before we wrap it up and we go to the episode, let me tell you this: let's unify the capoeira community. Let's take away logos. Let's take away capoeira groups, and let's do capoeira together. We need this in our community. We need unification. We need to be together. That's how we grow together. That's how we grow our schools. If you see in Europe, if you are from Europe, let me know and confirm this to me and see if this is true. But what I know, what I seen videos, what I saw from people, for some European friends, that they told me that capoeira is huge, huge, huge there. Of course, still growing, it's still happening. Some countries and cities are a little far, but you know why they grow so fast? Because they stay unified. And of course, there's still the old school, and that thing of being a trap in the bubble of like, this is my group, this is my only way of thinking and my only way of do capoeira. That's the old school, man. That's back in Brazil. That was when I started in 2001. That was kind of like going away. So let's forget about groups. Let's forget about capoeira style. Let's do capoeira, man. Let's do it together, because together we're gonna grow better. Together we can go stronger, and we need it. Out there is too much negativity for us to bring it to capoeira. Let's bring it together. There's respect and unify to a better cause and defend this beautiful art, the good stuff, because the good people, us that are doing great stuff, we're majority. You understand? You know what I mean. Well, let me introduce you to the second part, because I am going to roll it to the second part. Please pay attention to this conversation. Sorry, I took a little long intro here, but I just wanted to let my thoughts out. All right, guys, you know what is coming. Peace. Because I don't know, it's just my personal idea of like,
Opinion, yeah.
yeah, of like, I feel like we kind of like walking away too far from respecting the oldest. We becoming too social media people, and we forget about the people that were there. Yes, we talk about like ancestors and respecting the ancestors, but we don't know anything about them. And then we got to get information from them, or to know about them. And where do you see like more connections to the African religions in the Americas?
So I don't know if it's the same name.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Basically, most of the religions in West Africa are defined under the term animism.
Yes.
Is that the same name in English? Animism?
I think so. Where like spiritual part. I don't really know.
I will have to Google this to know, because sometimes my brain thinks in French. So I think the same name in English, but sometimes it's different words.
Say with my brain. I think in Spanish, and
Yeah.
then I try to like say in English, and it's completely different.
Yeah. So the base philosophy of religions in West Africa is the same as Santeria and Candomblé.
Okay.
So it's respect,
Yeah. Yeah.
and loving and care, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I would say these three are the base things of all the philosophy here. We also do have the respect for the ancestors,
Yeah.
right? Because basically we think that everything that is alive thanks to the ancestors.
Yeah.
So
100%.
the ancestors are still alive in us because we're here thanks to them, right?
Yes. Yes.
So there's also this thing of respecting the elders
Yeah.
and the people that were here before us.
Yeah.
And as you said, it's the same thing in capoeira because we have to respect the title of people, right? Mestre, contramestre, professor, instructor. They're all some sort of, or I would say, your parents in the
Yeah.
capoeira system because
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can think of the mestre as like maybe the grandfather, and your professor can be your father, and maybe the instructor can be like your sort of big brother or co-uncle. I don't know.
Yeah. Cool. that's that's a good one. Yeah, man.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so I would say it's the same thing, and in these regions we also have to respect the surroundings. It's a very, very
Yes.
important aspect of it
Yes. Yes.
because
100%.
basically God is seen as too far from us
Yeah.
and too great to be thought about,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Instead of thinking directly about God, you have to think about all the surroundings you have and respect them because they are some sort of aspects of God.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is why people always make the mistake of thinking that people in West Africa kind of worship nature, but they don't really worship nature. They worship their surroundings
Yes. Yeah.
because they know that God is too far. So they have to worship what is close to them and respect and love and care for this.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And because it's the same. Like a lot of people say, like, oh, he's great, he's training too much or whatever, and then he's like, well, in the Yoruba religion, rain is part of nature. Is we
Yes,
need the rain. We need that to be
exactly.
alive, and
Hmm.
and um what I studied back then in the religion was like the rain is actually the blessings from the sky, because
Hmm.
thanks to the rain we have fruits, and the fruits can prosper so we can eat from that. And is it's just everything is connected, right? At the very, very, very end, if you see deep, 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 very deep, everything is going to be connected. Everything is
Hmm.
connected.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. So yeah,
And
so many connections with capoeira, candomblé, and African religions.
yeah.
For example, I'm gonna give you an example. So Yemanja is the Orisha of water and the ocean.
Yeah, yeah, and fertility and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, and here in the Ivory Coast and Ghana, also Nigeria, a little bit Togo, people use Mami Wata to talk about Yemanja. So basically, the name of Yemanja here is Mami Wata.
Huh. That's pretty cool, but it's pretty much the same base.
Yeah, it's the same principle.
It's in principle. Yeah. Oh, cool, man. That's awesome. You said different names for other orishas too.
Yeah, so I think so I forgot the names of the others, but when you go to Benin, because Benin is the let's say the home country of Vodou, and
Okay.
Vodou is like a cousin of Condomblé and Yoruba and
Yeah.
all this stuff. they have specific names from the orishas that can be different from the names we have in South America.
Yeah, yeah, and
But
it's
the
also,
names are the same.
on a side note, for people to understand this too, voodoo of the real voodoo is not what you see in the movies of like the crazy stuff.
Exactly.
Because I talk to people, oh yeah, no, you know the African voodoo, so and they get like, oh, but that's
Yeah,
the
they're
thing. No,
afraid.
no, 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 no.
Yeah,
It's nothing like that. It's there's just in the movies. The real
yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
the original real stuff is completely different. Is actually really really beautiful stuff.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, people when you say voodoo, people think about how do you call it?
Yeah, the doll that
The
you
doll you want to
like you stab with a thing and then it
yeah,
hurts
just
the other
start with the
person.
thing. Exactly. They think about the doll and the thing. But voodoo is nothing like that, of course. It's a
Yeah,
very beautiful religion of
yeah,
loving and care. And all the religions have the same base of respect,
yeah, a hundred
love, and
percent,
care.
100%.
All
Yeah,
the religions around the world. But what makes Africa a specific case is that since we had colonization,
yeah,
the missionaries, the Christian missionaries wanted people to think about their religion as a bad thing, right?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
this is sorcery, you're making evil things, blah, blah, blah.
yeah,
So people got brainwashed about
yeah,
these things
100. Yeah, man.
and
It's
they got away from what is it really and they stopped trying to understand the fundamentals of this religion.
yeah, yeah, and then
And the same thing happened in Brazil, right? Because when they were trying to 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 contain the African cultural expressions like capoeira and candomblé, they were saying that candomblé is sorcery or it's evil, it's
yeah,
bad.
or black magic stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, black magic.
yeah,
So
yeah.
many people still think about candomblé or voodoo or santeria as devilish thing.
In Venezuela is the same. Yeah, and
Hmm.
actually, I remember in the process of the initiation, you have to in Venezuela we have to dress 1 year of all white, 1 year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then like 100%, you cannot wear anything else but white. And
Hmm.
I remember I was this time I was one day on the subway. I was going down the subway, and this guy behind me, hey, hey, and then I was like, ah, man, somebody's gonna say something. And then I was just waiting for a subway, and I got in the subway, and the guy behind me, I was like, hey, why are you dressing all white? I was like, well, it's part of my religion. Why? Why you ask? And then he was like, well, like the Bible says these kind of stuff on like those are like devil stuff. It was like, I'm not harming you, am I? And he was like, no, but you how you read the Bible? And I was like, let me ask you this. So let's say the end of the world comes tomorrow, right? Let's say Christ comes tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow is the
Yeah.
end of the world. The people that are in the mountains that are like Buddhist and all that never read the Bible, so they are gonna go to hell. And it was like a minute silent. No, but you have to preach the for them to go to the heaven and all that. Is like, but how are you gonna do it? The end of the world is tomorrow. And it was like, no, no. And he comes back to that. And they, but tell me something logic where people that are not harming anyone in the mountains, they're there meditating, actually preserving life, and but the end of the world is tomorrow. Is a crisis gonna kick them down to hell? I was like, well, and then he was like, and I was like, don't forget about it, man. Just leave me alone. It comes back to that. It's like because it's like when people don't know something, they think it's bad, and then when that's the first assumption they do. I don't know it, it's probably bad, especially in the back then, and
Yeah.
and it still goes down today's day for all these kind of stuff. Capoeira,
Yeah.
Capoeira has a misconception. I remember back in Venezuela, people were saying like, you 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 guys do capoeira. That's not gonna give you a life. That's bad for you. You have to go to school. You have to go to do this. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, why?
Yeah,
Why
it's
something
the
that you
same
don't
in
know?
Brazil.
Yeah, exactly. And why something that I'm doing is bad for you? Is on the bad side from your perspective, and it's just like crazy. It's just crazy.
Hmm. Yes,
And
I do agree. People ignorance
ignorance.
causes
Yeah,
a lot of hate and
yeah, man.
shaming.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I always say like ignorance is very expensive.
It is. It
Because
is.
is ignorance causes a lot of stuff, and is going. I don't know, man. It's just, we can go down for 3 hours here talking about those kind of stuff, but
Yeah.
and you mentioned something really cool too, that because the colonization of all the people wanting to preserve their religion, their beliefs, and that's when the syncretism came up, and then they were saying like, well, the I think it's called syncretism,
Yes.
where
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. Yes.
when they say like, well, I'm kind quote unquote respecting your saints and your gods and all that, but underneath of that, I'm actually praying to my Yoruba or African religion.
Yeah. And this is Condom is all about, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because they basically connected Orishas to saints in Christianity.
yeah,
For example, they connected Yemanja with Virgin Mary.
yeah,
They connected, I think Jesus is Oshala.
yeah.
Um, I forgot the others, but I think that Ogum is Saint George.
Yeah, something like that. I forgot the connections.
Yeah.
Shango is at least in Venezuela is Saint Barbara, Santa Barbara.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. And they all have connections like this. And it's awesome, right? Because then
yeah,
when you go to Brazil, you can see someone going to the church, and right after he goes to the terreiro, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
he doesn't, and there is no conflict between the two.
yeah. 100%. Yes, yes.
And it's the same thing here in West Africa, because people can be Muslim or whatever, but a lot of them they're still both, right? They can be Muslim, but they also gonna be their traditional religion.
Yeah, yeah. And it's really cool to see all this connection because it's important for us to understand how all this works and how all this is connected. And I keep seeing people talking about like ancestors. Yeah, but do you know something about that? It's like, yeah, you
Yeah.
talk about like, yeah, respecting the ancestors, but learn about it. Doesn't mean that you're gonna be part of it, but learn about it and how that works, or how they were, because is that respect come from that knowing, right? And I think there's a saying here in the US that says like, put your money where your mouth is, or put your mouth where your money is, something like that.
Nice
Is
one.
yeah, and is do your homework before you talk about this kind of stuff, and then and so is everything have to make sense. If you can say something that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And it's the same with capoeira. When you want to go deeper in capoeira, you have to know history,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
This is the way how you can connect your capoeira experience with the main principle of caring about your ancestors, right?
yes, yes,
Because at some point, when you want to understand the present, you have to understand how the past was.
100%. Yeah, oh yeah,
So you can't think about capoeira and you don't know who was Mestre Bimba, who was Mestre Pastinha,
yes,
who was Bizuro, who was
Zumbi.
Zumbi.
Yeah,
and all these big historical figures of resistance in Brazil,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they can be seen as the ancestors of capoeira, and how much capoeira went from their times to today
Yes.
until today.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's still preserved to these days. And like you said, we have to understand, or at least read about it, and at least see it
Yeah,
for us to I mean, you don't have to like memorize it, but at least read it, at least find
yeah,
information and look for it, and for you to
yeah.
understand
Know
what is
something
happening
about it.
today. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, 100%.
Because has well, any professor of capoeira will say this, but capoeira is so much more than just the physical aspect.
Oh yes, I tell that all my students all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this is why during the pandemic, Sokesh told us, don't think only about doing movement. Do some research.
Yeah.
Go find some books about capoeira. Read about the Brazilian culture, right?
Yeah.
Because all these are also capoeira, and it's important to understand this because then you will have a better appreciation and understanding of the art form.
100%. 100% agree with that.
So, for example, when I went to my trip in the north of the country here and I started sharing the videos about all the ceremonies I saw,
Yeah.
I tried to explain how this can relate to capoeira, how this can relate to capoeira or Brazil, and etc. etc. Because
Yeah.
there were so many examples.
Yeah, and it's again, everything is connected. Everything is connected. Same
Hmm.
thing with when I was talking, which actually I'm gonna have on the podcast very soon. Last weekend I went to North Carolina to a capoeira event, and shout out to all my friends in North Carolina. And uh, there was this lady sambista, samba queen, and
Okay.
she was talking about all those connections too, of the connection of the samba with capoeira, and the connection of
Yeah.
the samba with other uh, uh, culture as part of the Brazilian culture. And it's
Hmm.
so cool how like everything capoeira is
Yeah.
connected. So capoeira is pretty much part of the culture, of their culture. Even it's a bunch of Brazilians, they don't know it, but there's so connected. It is so connected. It's so,
And coming back to samba, you can even see some African dances here that looks a lot like samba too. I will
wow.
also send you some videos of some dances and you'll say, oh yeah, this is 100% samba.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
The way they move their feet, it's the same thing.
That's so cool, man. That's so cool, so cool. Yeah, and to wrap it up, I want to keep talking, but it's hard to. Dude,
I wish.
yeah, man. It's like I remember back in Venezuela, I always was talking to my friends. We started like at 9 p.m. and we went to like over midnight, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning.
Mhm.
When we see a time, like, dude, I think let's try to go sleep because we were just talking and
Wow.
talking. Because
Yeah.
man, we can
Yeah, we
talk
could talk
all day.
all night about this
Yeah, yeah, same, man,
topic.
same. And I love talking about it, but I guess we probably can do another episode. And to wrap it up, what would be a single advice from your perspective to the entire capoeira community, whoever is listening to this?
Oh wow, that's a tough one. But an advice I will say is whatever you are going through, never stop to keep not only doing capoeira, but thinking about capoeira. And thinking comes with a lot of possibilities because, as we say, you can find a book to read, you can get to know more about a song and the history of a song, or trying to learn Portuguese. We
Yes,
have so many possibilities of staying connected to capoeira.
100%.
And this is not only by doing movements or the physical aspects, right? But it's by finding much more knowledge and food for the soul. I like to call it food for the soul through capoeira.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I like that one.
It's
Food
a
for
way of
thought.
staying
Nice.
connected. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say stay connected. Never lose the connection with capoeira.
Yes,
This will
100%.
be my
100%.
advice.
Yes. And now, and I say it was the to wrap it up, but something just came up to my head. What would be
Hmm.
the you advise, because you have a lot of knowledge with the African culture and capoeira, so you have that connection with both. What would be you advice for people to study, to understand the ancestrology connected with African culture and capoeira?
Oh, that's a good one. I think if you have the chance to travel, because West Africa is not very known by people in North America and other parts of the world.
Yeah,
For example, when I say I'm from the Ivory Coast, very few people can say, "Oh, the Ivory Coast, yeah, I know this country," you know?
yeah,
So if you have the chance to travel in West Africa, I would greatly encourage people to come visit and get to know the roots of the African diaspora in Brazil. But it will be also great. YouTube is your friend today, to
yeah,
be honest.
yeah,
YouTube will be your great friend. Don't always try to. You can just type African traditional dance and see some stuff and try to think about capoeira through this dance and see how it's related and connected. That will be great.
yeah, yeah. And again, because everything is connected.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
Well,
this is the conclusion of the podcast.
yeah, yeah, totally. Oh, wait, thank you very much. Thank you so much. It was super cool to listen to somebody
Thank you
that
for having me.
yeah, man, of
I hope
course.
my pronunciation was all right.
Yeah, no, it was perfect, man. It was perfect. Don't worry. It was awesome. And I like definitely we gotta do that again, because there's other stuff that we can go deeper, and
Yeah,
again we can go
I agree.
hours and hours.
I agree.
Yeah, we probably do like 2 3 more.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, man.
Looking forward already.
Yes. Owen, thank
And
you
I
very
can
much.
even I can even prepare some specific
Oh yeah, oh
um,
totally.
things, and
Yeah,
we can discuss about it.
yeah, oh
That
yeah,
will be a
totally.
good idea also.
Because it's pretty cool information to share. And, it's good for people to listen to all these kind of information, and they're probably
Yeah,
driving right now, or I don't know, eating, showering, whatever they're doing.
because the
Yeah.
more you know about the surroundings of something, the more you will appreciate that thing,
Yes,
right?
100%, 100%. Well, man, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here
Yeah.
and sharing the information. And I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Thank you again. It was a great conversation.
Yes.
Sending all my big ashe to everyone in North America and wherever you are in the world. Of course, cheers to Kadara Capoeira and all my all my team
Yes.
in
Yes.
Kadara. I hope people will appreciate this episode.
Yes. We definitely, man. One of the probably, I think the first one, because you guys are pretty close here. One of the
Hmm.
first people want to visit once everything is internationally open is going to be Toronto.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward already.
Yeah. I hope to see you there too.
Great. Oh yeah, you will see me.
Oh, nice.
Don't worry.
Yes. Well, man, thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for getting this far. Remember, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up on Facebook or YouTube. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. This is going to help us and help me to get bigger numbers and bigger subscribers, so we can give more information. Okay, please, if you're listening, I know you're listening, I know you're watching, please give me a subscribe, give me a like. Okay, I know you're watching right here or listening. All right, have an amazing day. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening every single episode, especially the episode we just did. All right, thank you so much. Peace.